Good morning.
Good morning.
Already we've seen some silliness. One of the things is to take us out of comfort zones. That's one of the things the role of the fool does. So I thought, why not? This is a good start for me. Some of you thought you were either at a wedding or a funeral, but no, you're at a service. Where I was raised, this was standard garb for Sunday mornings. And many of you, I'm sure, were in the same situation. April Fools. We're not really doing April Fools today. April Fools is a holiday that honors the trickster. But April Fools has to do with doing things to others, putting the kick me sign on somebody's back, making someone else the fool. And that's not what we're really focused on today. There's some nasty elements to that, but at the same time, it's the same idea as Halloween. It's a chance to explore that dark side that we have culturally. We can learn lessons from that. You could be a perpetrator of a trick and recognize that you just hurt someone. Even if you just wanted to end it with the simple, just kidding. Sometimes one didn't go over that way. And we can learn from that. The learning, though, has to become conscious. If it does not, you have all kinds of opportunities for bad dreams. So, we're not really looking at the April Fools, even though this is associated with April Fools, but it is the season of foolishness. It's a season of renewal. I want to begin by differentiating between the trickster figure and the fool. Now, I've made all this up, so you can go to whatever literature and find different opinions of it. One thing will say this, and another will say that. But this is how I'm going to do it. The trickster is a figure that appears in all cultures through all times. The thing that distinguishes the trickster from the fool is that the trickster is driven by appetite. Food, gambling, lying because there's always a need for more. Have to acquire more things. More money, more cars, more oil, more whatever. There are many trickster figures in around the world. One of the most famous is Coyote. Comes from North America. And the coyote figure is a trickster, but also very foolish in the trickster qualities. Coyote, driven by appetite, is always bringing destruction upon himself. He is always trying to gamble to get more. He lies to the people. He does whatever he can to satisfy his basic appetites. Interestingly, Coyote is often destroyed. He's killed, but he always comes back to life because that's what appetite does. You will not get rid of your appetites. You can say, I'm aware of that appetite, and that gives me the power to control it. But if it's unconscious, then it will control you. There are trickster figures all over the world. Some of them are Loki, Hermes, Iktomi, the leprechauns, in Grimm's fairy tales, the simpleton. A story about one of those trickster figures is a story from a work named Things Fall Apart by Chinua Achebe. You may have heard of that one. And it's a story where Turtle is the trickster. And Turtle is always causing all kinds of trouble. Well, there's going to be, the cloud people are going to give a big feast. And all the birds are invited to it. And Turtle says, I want to go. And they're like, no. We know what you're going to do. You're going to mess it up. No, I'm a changed man. Changed turtle in this case. I will not mess this up. And they're still, no. And finally, because tricksters are smooth-tongued, he convinces them, okay, we'll give it a try. He sounds really sincere. He sounds good. So all the birds give him a feather, because he's going to need to fly up there. So they all give him a feather. And before they go, he says, I know a lot about these things. And all the birds said, yeah, the one thing about him, he knows a lot. For these affairs, the tradition is that you change your name. So I am going to change my name. I will change it to all of you. So they fly up, the cloud people, and there's this wonderful feast laid out. And the ruler of the cloud people says, we have this wonderful feast for all of you. The turtle goes and says, "Did you hear?" The feast is me. And he goes and eats up everything. He drinks the stuff, punches the food, and he basically, and all the birds are sitting there, "Oh, you know, I can't do this again." And so the birds take back their feathers. Smart over, take back the feathers. And the turtle's like, "Oh, you know, I can't fly back." So he says, "Do me a favor. Go down and tell my wife to lay out all the soft things from the compound, mattresses, and lay all that stuff out there, because it's going to be a hard fall." And the bird says, "Sure, gotcha." They go to his wife and they say, "Bring out all this hard stuff, his cannons and metal and all this stuff." Turtle looks down, sees he's ready to go. He jumps, and then we have the little explanatory part of the tale, which is he smashes into a bunch of pieces. They have to glue them back together. That's why turtles have the different shells. That's a trickster story, and they're all over the world. What does the fool and the trickster do for us then? The fool we learn from. I'm dismissing the trickster now, basically, because as I said, trickster is driven by appetites. I'm going to look at 3 other kinds of fools. The fool is not just a boundary crosser, it can be a destroyer of boundaries. We live thinking we know what we're all about, as a culture, as a society, and as individuals. The fool has a chance to change all that. The fool can push us out of our comfort zones, can have us take ourselves less seriously, help us not to miss opportunities, we gain new insights, we have a chance of refreshing the world. If we tend to ignore our inner fool, if we don't recognize the foolish component in ourselves, it then becomes shadow content. Shadow content creates the opportunity to wreak havoc in our own lives. I'm going to read an example. Some of you may know the play Macbeth. Talk about a person who is driven by shadow. There's nothing foolish about Macbeth. Nothing. He has so thoroughly pushed aside into his unconscious, his foolish aspects, that you don't get to see any of it. At the end of the play, he has made a mess of everything. He started the trouble by killing his king. He loved the king. King did a great job. The king loved him. He just rewarded him for his works in battle. And doesn't matter. Macbeth kills him, starts killing everybody. Typical Shakespeare tragedy. Everybody's dying. Now it's Macbeth's turn. And at the end of the play, his wife dies. There's a lot of discussion as to what happened. And here is his reaction. Somebody bursts in. "The queen, my lord, is dead. She should have died hereafter. There would have been a time for such a word. Tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow creeps in this petty pace from day to day, to the last syllable of recorded time. And all our yesterdays have lighted fools the way to dusty death. Out, out, brief candle. Life's but a walking shadow, a poor player that struts and frets his hour upon the stage, and then is heard no more. It is a tale told by an idiot, full of sound and fury, signifying nothing." There's a man who's not in touch with the fool. To him, it's somebody who struts their foolish words on stage, and that's it, we turn to dust. It's not much fun. I'm going to focus on 3 other kinds of fools. There is the fool who challenges authority, sort of a social fool. And the question that might ask is, why are we doing what we're doing? Second kind of fool is a personal fool, which challenges attitudes and beliefs. You might say it's asking a question, why am I doing what I'm doing? The third fool I'm going to look at is the one that challenges the I can't in us and asks, why aren't you doing that? The first fool challenges authority, the cat in the hat. That's what the cat does. The cat takes a structure, the family, the mother's in charge, kids know what to do, and the mother leaves and the cat comes in and just messes the place up completely. Does anybody remember what happens after that? The cat realizes, that the mother's coming home and the children are like, the place is destroyed, and the cat says, no problem. Comes in with that machine and cleans everything up, and order is reestablished. That's the role of the trickster. It's not just to destroy things and leave it that way. A new order takes place. Those children have learned